saying, man. Here to talk about people in politics. As a bridge, sometimes we need it.
Power 99 Gospel.
That's what this platform for.
Power 99 The Mix.
Y'all tune in and stay tuned in. I'm trying to bring y'all the information we need to build ourselves.
Mobilize.
It's a campaign coming up.
Let me find out.
You better tap in.
We got movement.
This who it is, baby.
Minus people in politics. Minus people in politics. Minus people in politics.
How you doing today? I'm JB, the CEO, and I want to welcome you to People in Politics, podcast where we talk to different candidates, different organizers, different officials about their aspirations and how they are affecting the community today. And today we have our Shelby County Sheriff candidate, Miss Keisha Scott. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to sit here with you today. I see you around a lot of different places doing different things, and I've been just eager to just kind of get to know you, see how you're doing, and just see what your motivations is for being a Shelby County Sheriff. So let's start out with where you from? What part of Memphis you from? Where you grow up at?
I was born and raised here in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. I grew up in North Haven. Are you familiar with that area?
Yeah, that's a small little piece of, large but small little area way in the corner over there, ain't it?
Right. It's in the Fraser area, a little bit outside of it. So I grew up there.
What was life like out there? This seemed like that's away from everything.
It is. It was rough.
It was?
Yes. When I was growing up in North Haven, we were one of two black families. And this was in the early 80s. And it was really terrifying.
Really?
Yes, a lot of racism, a lot of it. And that is what brought me into law enforcement. I remember being a little girl and living in that house, lived in a 2-bedroom home. I am one of 10 children.
Whoa.
Yes.
That's a lot.
It is.
Y'all fighting up everything.
Everything. I never slept in a bed, you know? Yeah, I know, it was rough.
Yeah.
But during that time as a little girl, we had neighbors, they were mean, torturing my mother. And they would skin cats, black cats, and they would throw them in the driveway.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And they would egg my mother's house.
Was it the kids or adults? Or?
Both.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my mother would call the sheriffs, and they would come and they would be like, well, there's nothing we can do, you know, who did this and who did that. And they would go and talk to the neighbors, and I would see them over there looking outside the window, laughing. Yeah, laughing with the people who have tortured my mother.
Oh, wow.
My mother's in the house, and she's crying. And I remember it like yesterday, and I'm like...
That's disheartening.
Yes. I'm like,
That kills your spirit to believe in the police.
Yes. They're supposed to be here to help us.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I'm going to grow up. I'm going to be a sheriff.
Oh, really?
And I'm going to help people like my mother. Because that was just devastating. And then just walking home one day from the park. The lady, female white, our neighbor, she had a water hose. And as I was passing her house, she was wetting me up with it. Yeah. And I didn't know what to do. And I went in the house in my clothes, I'm drenched. My mother says, what's wrong with you? What happened? You know, I'm in tears. And I said, you know, can't talk, you know, kid, I'm just
shocked.
Yeah, I'm shocked.
How old was you?
I probably was about, 7 or 8. I was a little girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and my mother said, I said, the lady next door, she lit me up with the water hose. And my mother said, go back out there. And I was like, no, Mom, I don't want to go back out there. And she was like, yeah, you gonna go back out there? I was so afraid of my mother because she said, you got to stand up for yourself. So I went back out there and she said, you walk back across that sidewalk. And I'm trembling and I'm walking back. And my mother told that lady, she said, don't you ever put your hand on my child. Don't you ever wet her up again. And the lady was sitting up there looking, and I was afraid because I was like, my mama don't play.
Yeah.
And that sparked all this stuff, wanted me to help people in law enforcement.
So you had big brothers?
I did.
Did they ever get me, you know, big brothers gonna want to get some get back, man. I know.
They did. No, my family, we didn't bother anybody. Like I said, we were only one or two blacks in the neighborhood at that time.
Yeah. So it was a fear of retaliation still. They instilled it kind of in you with the
because we knew we didn't have
antics.
exactly. We didn't have the support of the sheriff. We knew that. So, you know, what were we going to do? Who were we going to report to?
Oh wow.
And my mother was like, "You got to stand up for yourself, or else people are always going to run over you." And that's why I have the will and the drive now. When somebody say, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that," I just go back to that.
Oh wow.
Now I can do this.
Yeah.
You're not going to stop me.
That takes a lot of strength.
It does.
Yeah, it takes a lot of strength. You know, it these simple things like that in our youth that traumatize us, and sometimes it can, you know, affect how we are. A lot of the time, it affects how we deal with people going forward. So just kind of sticking on it. How have this shaped your relationship with white people?
I love everybody. I do.
Really?
And it makes me want to help everybody. And that's why I tell people, a sheriff has to be a sheriff for every race. You can't say, I'm just going to help this group of people. You got to help everybody. And that's why I have a lot of Latino friends, and I have a lot of white friends, and a lot of black friends. And, you know, I just continue to be, you know, build that culture. For everybody to say, well, you know, yeah, I like her energy. That's the first thing they say when they see me. I like your energy.
Yeah, you do got good energy. You do.
Well, thank you.
Ever since I met you, your energy's been positive, been upbeat, you know, and I liked it about you. So what high school you went to? You went to Northside, Fraser?
No, I went to Millington Central.
Okay.
Once again, it was 10%.
White people, yeah. 10% black.
Yeah. And I went there, and I loved the school. I still do. You know, I didn't participate in any sports at the time because we didn't have a car. And my mother couldn't drive me to practice because I love playing basketball and running track, but I couldn't attend things like that. So
So you didn't get to play any sports or anything in high school?
when I was in elementary, I did. I
But once you
played
got
basketball.
Okay. All right. Well, so did you go to college? Where did you?
I did.
Where'd you go to school?
Here, Christian Brothers University.
Okay.
I got a psychology degree. I know, right?
Okay, that's what's up.
So study of the mind. So it's good in police work, right?
Yes, it is.
So I did that, and then I went on to Belhaven, and I have a master's degree.
Okay.
Science and leadership.
Okay.
Doing what I'm doing now, calling me, right?
Yes.
To lead.
In that direction. So when did you join the police force?
1996.
Shelby County?
Shelby County.
Where year you graduated? Let me ask
In
you.
92.
I'm being nosy. I know you should have asked women certain questions.
That's
but
okay. I'm very transparent, open. I don't mind. In 1996, I started inside the jail.
Okay.
Can you believe it?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's tough.
It was tough. It's you know, it was back then. It wasn't as bad as it is today. I don't know how the people survive back there today. It's awful.
Was it awful then in 1996? They had a riot or something back
They did
then.
in '92. I was in high school at that time.
Okay. All right.
That was before me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you started. How long was you working in the
worked in
jail?
the
Shelby
jail.
County Jail 201.
Shelby County Jail 201.
Okay.
I worked on the 3rd and the 4th floor.
Those are the roughest two
They're the
floors.
roughest floors.
Yes.
But I'm gonna tell you,
How did you survive in that time, in that era, in that time? Because there was a lot going on. 90s crimes was kind of high during that time.
Yes.
There was a lot of drugs and that's when it really kind of affected our community.
Yes.
So how did you survive in working there? And you was young, I'm sure young, pretty girl.
Very. I believe
And I
I
know
was
guys can
20.
be a little rough.
You know, it's all about respect. How you treat people. You know, I knew I was young, and I knew those were career criminals in there and have masterminds and can manipulate people. Officers is oftentimes they do. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go. You gotta be honest. You can't go in there lying and just truthful. And that's what I did. I told them, look, I'm coming to do a job. Don't ask me to bring you nothing. I ain't gonna bring you nothing. Don't ask me to give you nothing. You wanna go see the doctor? I can do that for you.
Okay.
You know, you need to eat. You need a tray. I can do that for you. You know, we can work that out. I said, but anything else, I can't help you. And they respected that. They never asked me to do anything that was illegal, and I never did anything that was illegal.
Okay. You know, it's a lot goes on in the prison. How long was you working there?
I worked in about a year.
A year? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yes.
It was tough. It was a tough year, wasn't it?
Yes, and then I transitioned over to the law enforcement side.
So what's some lessons you learned from working there in that prison that you I say kind of hold on to
Today,
yeah.
they taught me in that jail, you have to be fair, firm, and consistent.
Okay.
If you're that way all the time, you won't have any problem. And that I brought over to the law enforcement side. And people will tell you, oh yeah, you know, she don't play, she don't take no mess, because I don't. If I ask you to do something, I expect you to do it. And I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I wouldn't do.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's really from understanding people that have been there and things that they've said. A lot of times that's what they ask for. As long as you can be fair with them, they can they can talk to you and come to them with their issues or whatever the case, and they know what you standing on and what you believe, and they give some respect. You know, a lot of times it's a transactional relationship and it stays respectful.
Exactly.
You know, so that's pretty good. So what was the transition like to the police department? You went to the police department, Shelby Sheriff's. You went straight to the sheriff's department.
The jail. It actually took me
to the Memphis Police Department.
jail. The
Okay.
jail is part of Shelby County. I
Sheriff.
went from the jail, transition over to the sheriff part and law enforcement. It took me 5 tries.
Oh,
it's
wow.
very political. It's rough. I mean, they were hiring like once a year.
Oh.
So it took me.
At that time.
Yes, at that time. They doing it multiple times now, but at that time, once a year. And it took me 5 tries to get on.
Was it, you think because you was a female, or was it?
It was so political. You have to know somebody, you know, and somebody has to know somebody to get on, you know, and I didn't know anybody, you know.
Yeah, you from Millington, way out there in North Haven, so.
You know, I just didn't know anybody at the time, and I said, nah, I'm gonna keep trying. And I did. I kept trying, and I finally got on. I called a friend, and she said, yeah, let me see what I can do. And next thing I know, here I am. So while working in law enforcement, I worked in uniform patrol. And I think that was the hardest position that I had to work.
How long you worked uniform patrol?
8.5 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. And at that time, it was predominantly white.
Where they had you at? Where was you
And we had we still got the substation in Arlington.
Okay, that's where you was working pretty much.
I'm working out of there. And at that time, I think we only had maybe three black people working. I know it was me, another young lady. Well, it was 4 of us, and two males. And everybody else, you know, they were white. And it was rough. When I came, they were like, you're gonna have to hold your own weight. You know, we're not gonna hold your hand. You know, so you're gonna have to do your job. And you're gonna have to have thick skin. And I was like, And you know, and at the beginning, nobody wanted to train me. Yes, it was rough. They're like, you know, they were expecting me to fail. You know, I even had the lieutenant tell me after he saw that, hey, you know, she knows what she's doing, she's catching on. I was better than the other guys.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And he called me in that office that time and he said, Keisha, you know, you surprised us. And I said, what? He said, yeah. He said, we were expecting you to fail. And, you know, that made me feel like, wow, you're supposed to be trying to
help me,
empower me, help me to be a good officer, and you wanted me to fail.
Yeah.
So, you know, me, okay, so I know I got to continue to do well and do better than the next person. So while I was out there, I got Officer of the Month twice.
Okay.
You know, and the guys were like, you need to slow down. You're making us look bad, because I always worked. And I worked on the South End, and that was one of our busiest ends, and we had a lot of activity, a lot of criminal activity going on down there. And
in Arlington?
No.
Oh.
And the South End. Our South End is like the Hash Cross, Shelby Drive area.
Okay.
That is it. and we were always busy. And I was taking care of my business, and they know
Is this
that.
before or after the annexation?
It was
Well,
after because
I know
Hickory Hill was annexed, and so it was after.
Because Memphis, it went to Hickory Hill. I can't remember exactly when it was. It was like late 90s, early 2000s or something.
It was after.
Yeah, okay. All right. And so let me ask you this. What are some of the, like, if they say they're expecting you to fail, right? And you was doing your job good, how do they determine what's a good and bad police officer? Or officer on the street? Like, what are the metrics or things like that? I'm just curious.
I don't know how they were trying to determine. I assume maybe
like your job
if I can, my job performance.
If I can, is it like, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but just trying to narrow or pinpoint, like how many arrests you get or how many tickets you get or how well your reports are, or how do they determine that type thing?
I don't know how they were trying to measure me, but I think how well I handle myself on the scene. Will she be able to take care of herself if she gets in a situation, you know?
What kind of situation? What's the situation you had to face while you did that kind of sticks out in your mind as an officer? Because I know being an officer is very dangerous.
It is.
It's the most dangerous job that you can have, especially in America. So, you know, that I see. So what's a situation that you possibly had to deal with that you can think of that you know they might have judged you on?
I would say probably how you carry yourself on the scene, for like escalation and de-escalation. And in law enforcement, to be a good officer, you got to know how to talk to people, because you can't fight everybody.
True.
You're leaving this scene, going to another scene, and you fought on that scene, and then you got to go to another one, and you can't do that. You're going to wear yourself out, mentally and physically. So you got to know how to talk to people, and it's all about this mouthpiece. And I just talk to people, and I'll be like, hey, what's going on? Why am I here? You know, what's bringing me here to you? Because people, when you go on the scene, they're upset, and you don't know what you're walking into. And I just say, what can I do to help you out? What do you need me to do? And then they'll calm down and they'll start talking. Hey, I'm just having a bad day. You know, I just need my medication. I'm a crisis intervention officer too, so, which is CIT. So they say, I haven't had my meds. So, okay, I say, all right, you want your medication, right? And then they say, yeah, and I'm like, when the last time you had your medicine? And then they'll tell me, I said, okay, so we're gonna take you to get some medicine, okay? Can we do that? Are you okay with that? And then they're like, yeah, okay, I can do that, to make you feel better. And then they said, well, my medicine makes me feel bad. And I said, well, have you talked to your doctor? Have you told your doctor maybe they can change it or something? They're like, no. I said, that's something you need to talk about. And something that could have been up on 100 is now down here. So it's all in how you approach people and how you talk to them. You gotta listen. You know, most time officers get out there and they want to dictate what's going on, this and that. Just listen. That's all a lot of people want you to do. Just listen.
Listen, that's how you evaluate the situation.
It is.
Yeah.
You gotta observe and you have to listen, you know.
So what is training like for an officer? What was it like when you went through training?
Oh, wow. Training is very, very intense, you know. You're trying to do everything right. A lot of PT at the time when I was going through, we had a lot of PT, a lot of physical training that you have to get in shape and pass, and we did that a lot. And learning the law, a lot of people don't know, so you're taking all these legal courses and you're trying to figure out, okay, what I need to do, what I need to say, when does this apply, when does it not? So you're getting scored on that, and you have to pass all that, and then trying to learn your fellow officers with you. You know, you want to blend in, you want people to trust you. The main thing in law enforcement is you want other officers to trust you, because if you don't build that trust, and they don't trust you, you know, you can find yourself out there by yourself. And that can be very scary. And so they got to know that they can trust you on, when I say trust, to have their back.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing. You have to be brave enough to say, hey, look, when they're doing something they shouldn't, pull them to the side and say, hey, you know, you can't do that. We ain't gonna do that. And
so have you had that situation before where you had to pull somebody to the side and say, look, your behavior's a little out of line? How did that conversation go?
I have that often. Just like, you know, I'm telling you, I said, look, let me deal with this, okay? You know, I got it. Go sit in the car and we'll deal with it later, you know? So you handle the scene because you're trying to de-escalate stuff. I was trying to de-escalate stuff because, you know,
if you walk into a situation, somebody just got through beating the crap out of somebody or something, because domestic, I'm just thinking of a domestic situation. And here it is, you got to de-escalate this situation. So this, I'm sure, kind of difficult to walk into.
It is. And, you know, you just look and you don't personalize anything. That's a no-no. And you just look at the facts. And you observe and you just deal with the facts. And if you do that, you'll be okay. And you don't put yourself personally involved. But, you know, officers are human too. And people got to understand that, you know, they're not robots, you know, so people think you are. We can't solve everybody's problems. But we're there to help you. And I tell people that all the time, you know, look, I'm just trying to help you. How can I help you? Tell me what I need to do. Because I don't have all the answers, you know. If you need a place to stay, you know, then we have shelters and stuff for them to go to. And domestic incidents, and you know, or if it's something else like their medicine. But mainly, a lot of the calls that I dealt with, they were CIT, and I've been a CIT officer for over 20 years. And you just gotta know how to talk to people. That's the key. Communication. People don't do it.
Crisis intervention team, right? So how did they come about? Was you 20 years, that's a long time. Was you a part there when it first started, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I initially didn't want to do it. And at that time, they were, we had supervisors, and they were like, hey, we want you, you know, and I'm like, you know, I don't want to do no extra work. I just want to come and do my job, you know, and because that meant you're going to get all the mental calls. That's going to wear you down. Because we got a lot of calls. Yeah. And so I had a captain at the time. He was like, yeah, you're going to go. I don't care what you say, you're going in. I was like, all right, I'll go, I'll do it. Went through the training and stuff. It was a 40-hour training, week long. And after that, I was like, okay. And started getting calls and stuff, and you know, you're nervous at first because you don't know how to interact with the people. You don't know, you know, you've never seen a crisis like that before. And then you say, okay, I got to revert back to my training. What did my training say I need to do? You got to de-escalate. You got to calm the individual down. Don't lie to them. You tell them the truth, what you can do and what you cannot do. They always say that, so I stuck with that. I'm like, look, you know, when they say, well, I see something, no, I'm sorry, I don't see that. But here's what we're going to do. How can I help you? Will you come with me? You know, you give them options. You know, you don't demand and you don't force anything on them. And when I started, I was like, okay, I just got to be myself. I can do this. And then it goes.
So they kind of heighten your sociology.
It did. I'm going to tell you, people say, they're like, Keisha, I can't believe you're a police. Because when I was in high school, quiet. I probably had, I count on one hand how many friends I had. Okay. And they'll say, oh, she was quiet, she kept to herself. Yeah. You know, that was me. You know, I mind my business, I stayed in my lane. Okay. But becoming an officer, I blossomed. Okay. And I was able to, you know, articulate better, and because I had to take a speech class.
Did you?
Yeah, matter of fact, it was Bev Johnson back in the day when we had Shelby State. And because I was quiet, and they were like, "You gotta talk." You got, you know, when I was in college, I'd be, you know, but it opened me up, and I was able to talk and articulate, and I was like, okay. So now I just don't shut up.
All right then.
Yeah.
How has crisis team management, crisis intervention team, how has it evolved over those years?
Well, it's gotten better. You know, we have more officers who are CIT trained, and I think people are taking crisis intervention teams serious now because we have a lot of people who have mental illness and they need help, and you just never know, you know, whether it's going to be out in the field or if it's going to be at home, or you know, you just walking down the street and you encounter somebody. So you can use it every day, anywhere.
You think that's something our officers should probably take?
Yes.
The training for do our officers get it?
No, because right now it's just a volunteer if you want to do it. But when I become sheriff, everybody's going to get it because you never know. And I think everybody needs to be trained in it.
Yeah.
So you know how to deal with the public.
Yeah, because when you think about it, a good majority of the crime is through some type of traumatic experience. A lot of kids experience traumatic experience, kind of like you did at a young age, but it's more black on black a lot of times. But then, you know, you have the other dynamics as well. But being able to deal with it, it don't always translate when the officers come into the communities and you have to deal with them because people have a stigma there with them. So how do you think fixing some of this stigma will work in the interactions? How would you like to see that turn out? Or how would you like to implement, or what would you like to implement?
I think we need to have more classes in like cultural diversity. I think you need to know your community. If I live in Collierville, I don't know what it's like to deal with somebody in North Haven, like where I came from. Because right now, North Haven is like a third world country. It's rough over there. Yeah. Very. And if you never experienced something like that, you don't know how to talk to people, and you don't know the language, you know, it can be stressful. You're not going to be able to relate to that individual. So officers got to be well diverse in your whole community. You can't be just in a box, you know, and you can't just work this district. You got to work all the districts all the time. So you can get familiar with your community and you'll know. And I'll give you an example. Like, if I see Billy Bob walking down the street, and I know Billy Bob walks down the street and he talks to himself, and you know, he every now and then may holler and scream and say something, that's his normal. But what if somebody who's not familiar with him, and they come in, they see he's yelling and ranting, and then they take that to another level because they don't know how to deal with it and they're unfamiliar.
We see that a lot.
I know.
Yeah, we see that a lot.
And so you need to know. You need to know your surroundings and the people in your neighborhood, because they're going to be the ones to say, no, we got them, this, and I talk to them. Or, you know, back in the day, you used to have officer friendly, right? You used to know your officers in your neighborhood. People don't know who they are. You got to get outside that squad car. You're right. And you got to talk to the people. And you can't be afraid. Because if you are, something's wrong.
So let me ask you this, because, you know, a lot of people, when you think about Memphis, most people visualize and see the Memphis Police Department, right? We rarely, in the past, with the previous or the current administration in there, Shelby County is pretty much, what's a good way to say this, invisible. How do you see changing it or fixing it? Because we see a lot of the stuff, but we don't think crime is in the county. We don't think the county has its rough neighborhoods and rough areas, because you're talking about Millington, you're talking about Barley, you're talking about Arlington, you're talking about Collierville, you know, and all these areas out here, which to us, as people of the city, we know not to go out there in that area, they're gonna lock you up. That's just the narrative that we get.
Right.
So it seems like you all are tougher in the county but the city is kind of wide open, right? So how has the dynamics in there, or how is that narrative, but we really don't see y'all involved in what you do?
In the city.
Yeah, we don't, you know, so how is that created, and how can that be better?
This is what I tell people. I said, you pay county taxes, right? You live in the city, but you pay county taxes. I said, you should get county services. In order to make that work, it's pretty much like what we're doing now. Collaboration, right? You got all these agencies working together. The sheriff is the highest law enforcement officer over the county. That means he's over MPD, Germantown, Collierville, Millington, and Bartlett, right? So they all work up under him because the county is so wide, you know, so you have your slices and your municipalities for that reason, because it's so wide. So if you want to see more, like I tell people, more of the sheriff has to set that tone. You got to make yourself available, and you got to get out in these communities, and you got to let the people see you. They see you. You got to bring your deputies out to their communities. When they have stuff going on in the city, you should go. I'm everywhere, and people say, oh, I see you everywhere. I said, that's what a sheriff's supposed to do. You're supposed to see me. You're supposed to know who I am. I'm supposed to be reachable, you know, and approachable. You can't say, well, a lot of people say, I don't even know who the sheriff is. That's not good. Visibility. If people see you, and that's all it is in the county, they see that presence. So they know, let me go over here somewhere. But you don't get that in the city, and you should. But with me, you're going to have deputies inside the city. You're going to see that. You're going to have that interaction, because that's what, when I talk to the community, they say that's what they want to see. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you what you want. You say this is what you want, and this is what you should get because you're paying for these services. But you need to see them in a positive way, not just a negative. So I plan to do that. I plan to have co-act units inside the city limits. Because they used to do it before. When I first came on, we had them.
You said co-ed?
Co-acts.
Co-act.
Well, you had, I'll give you an example. When I first got hired on, I think it was the west, it was North Memphis, but it was like the west side area over by Watkins, somewhere over there, if I'm not mistaken. They used to have a lot of deputies in that area, but it was grant funded. And when the grant ended, so did the deputies. They went back to the county. So we're gonna have to make it accessible to where this is where we're gonna be. We can do it. You're gonna have to hire more, you know, if you want more services, because a lot of people say they do. They wanna see more police. And I'm really shocked when I hear them say that, but that's what they want.
So because right now hiring is a big issue. So how do you plan, or what do you see objectively, how that can be occurred to kind of, because police have such a stigma about itself, how you see adding on to the force and creating more people and to be a part of the county or the police department, the Shelby County Sheriff. How do you see recruiting it?
Any job, if you want more people, better quality people, you have to pay people. And you have to recruit within. Because if you have people who live here in the city and the county who want to be a part of the sheriff's office, you're going to get better quality work out of it. Because, hey, I live here, so I want my community to be nice and well kept and taken care of, right? When you start hiring a lot of people on the outside, you know, they're working here and then they're going back over to Mississippi or Arkansas or somewhere, they're just not going to be as enthused to make sure that you have a safer community. But living here, like I live here, oh yeah, I want my neighborhood to be safe. I want where my mother lives to be safe. So you're going to do more. So you're going to have better benefits for them. You're going to have to offer them hazard pay, because it's hazardous being an officer. Even working in the jail, they need hazardous pay, because remember when COVID hit, a lot of them were catching COVID and dying and all that. You got to take care of your people, and you can attract people if you have better benefits and a better retirement plan. So I'm working on all that.
All right, man. You did that with a big smile.
Yes.
Okay, well, you've been in it long enough, so you kind of know the ins and outs of what's needed. It's pretty good, and you tap into, I guess, budgeting, right, and planning it because you have, by you being county sheriffs, you have to. I guess your budget includes the PD. What's all
just
included?
The jail.
Okay.
The jail and
Explain
the
it to
civilian
me.
and the law enforcement.
Okay, explain it to me.
But the jail gets the majority of the budget. A lot of
Okay.
people don't know that. And you got to think about it. I know people saying, "Oh, we don't need a new jail." Yeah, we do. So you got to do one or two. You either gonna fix the one that you have. Either way, it's gonna cost. Or you're gonna build another one. But building another one doesn't mean putting it in someone's community, because you don't want your children growing up in a backyard seeing a jail, right? Nobody does.
Yes.
So if you are going to build a new jail, you need to put it out there at the Pinafore where the rest of them are. I mean, they got plenty of land that the county owns.
Yeah.
Put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, that makes sense. That's what the independent study said. So do it.
So there's been a hot situation here lately, and trying to get funded along with overcrowding and all these different things, and having to try to work with the federal government to get some assistance with that, or the state government. And how is that? What is that process like for you, and what do you see how to work that relationship and build that relationship?
Collaboration. You got to be able to work with people. And right now, they're not working together.
Yes.
You see this one fighting with that one. This is your problem. That's your problem. You know what the problem is? Fix it. Take care of it. Stop pushing the blame. You got to have friends in the state. No if, no way around it. You're not going to get any funding if you don't. You got to know how to compromise. And right now, we don't have people who know how to compromise. Work together. At some point, I got to say, look, okay, I thought my idea was better, but it's not. Tell me what I need to do. Help me. Let's collaborate. We got to have a common ground, because the main thing is to build a better and a safer and a stronger what? Shelby County, right? And we can't do that if we're fighting.
True.
So you got to be able to collaborate with the city council members, with the county commissioner members. You can't be fighting with these individuals. You got to know how to work together. You got to know you got to know which lane you're in, and you got to know what you're asking for. You got to know how to get it. And they're not getting it because they don't know how to get it.
Yeah. So, you know, to me, that's kind of difficult, because we're in a big election cycle.
We are.
And you got a new sheriff coming, you got a new mayor coming, you got county commission, they trying to change the school board. And then you had the other races in the local municipalities outside of Memphis. So in your interactions with some of these people, then you got state races as well. And trying to find a coalition amongst the right people is difficult, because you think about it, it's 100 and some people that's running for offices now. So how do you see that? How do you see building a coalition going into the sheriff's office and not quite knowing who is going to be where and how the wash is going to come out?
It's simple. You're doing it now. I'm building these relationships now. You know, you got to be able to, like I said, communicate with people. When they have forums and events, you have to go to. You got to know what the mayor is talking about, because you're going to have to work with them, right? He's going to have to approve your budget.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to say, okay, what are his agenda? What is he looking at? And then what is mine? Okay, I see. So we can work together. And I'm listening to all of them. I can work with them. I can't say, well, no, I don't want to work with that person. I can work with all of them. And that's the bottom line, because the main thing is we want to build Shelby County. We want to make it stronger, right? And safer. And we're not going to be able to do that if we don't work together. So we're going to have a common ground. And the goal is, when everybody's out politicking and this is what I'm going to do, the main thing that we have to do as voters, hold them accountable. If this is what you're saying you're going to do for our county and our city, I'm going to hold you to it. But see, we don't do it. You know, we let them do all that talk, and then when the time comes, it's like we're afraid to ask what we owe. You know, you owe this to us. We put you in office and you said you were going to do A, B, and C. That's what we expect. But we give people, we let them off the hook, we don't hold them accountable, and then we wonder why we're in the situation we're in now. Hold people accountable. And if you say you want transparency, they need, we need some transparency. This is what you said. Otherwise, we're not gonna vote you in. I'm gonna tell you one thing, how you get to a politician, all you gotta do is be a registered voter. If you're a registered voter, they listen to everything you say because they know they want that vote. If you don't register to vote, or you don't vote, they don't care about what you're saying because you don't matter. And I tell people all the time, but those be the people who are out saying, oh, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, but did you vote? Well, it's not gonna make a difference. And I tell people all the time, how do you know? I said, by not voting, you're voting for the wrong person to get in. I said, that's by design. That's what they want you to do. Because you keep those same individuals in because people don't come out and vote. And you think you're doing something, but you're not. And although you can take care of yourself, what about your mother? You say, well, I don't need the police. What about your mother? You gonna be there 24/7 with your mother? With your wife? With your daughter? You can't do it. We all need the police. Yeah. We all need to work together, and the only way we can get that done, we have to vote, we have to register, and we have to make sure we're doing this for our children. Because I tell the young people now, you're 25 today, but in 10 years, these people are gonna be in office. What you gonna do then? Because you're gonna be older, and these bills that they're passing, they're gonna affect you. I said it's gonna be too late then. Now is the time. If you want your voice heard, now is the time to get out and vote and make your voice heard.
You're right. I think the climate is changing too, as well, as far as right now in the city. Everybody's, because I think what you just said about accountability, everybody is looking for pushing that accountability with the climate of politics, period, because they see firsthand that they put people in positions that are ineffective and are self-serving, right? And we want something different. Everybody wants something different. Somebody that's really working for us. So how will you work for us?
Like I'm doing now, I stand by the people. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that politics out of that sheriff's office and put it back in the hands of the people where it belongs, because the people elect the sheriff, right? So I work for you. So you got to hold me accountable. You got to say, hey, I need to meet. We need to have a meeting. You got to answer the call of the people who put you in office. And if you don't, the people have to stand up and be brave enough to say, okay, look, we're going to get you up out of here. You got to go. I guarantee you, if we start talking to politicians like that and letting them know, we're not going to vote you back in. Whatever it is that you say you're going to do, I guarantee you they'll get it done. At least in that first term, because they want to get reelected, right?
Yeah.
Now, the second term, you be taking a gamble because, it's like they looking for the next job. And then you have to watch out for those individuals. So, if their actions going to show it, you can't be for the people and start when you want to politic and say, well, y'all see me out here, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. That's not the time. What were you doing 2 or 3 years ago? Were you out there standing with the people?
Because we ain't been saying none of it. We ain't been saying none of it, and it's frustrating.
It is.
Yep. Now let me ask you this, because it's to me, this is my thoughts, right? You have the FBI, the DEA, the ICE, the whole federal agencies is down here in Memphis, right? And from my understanding, National Guard, and they made a big fuss about how they've cleaned up Memphis and dropped the numbers, which I'm assuming they are correct in the numbers. Numbers can be manipulated, and we can use them for what we want to use them for when we want to. But I'm assuming they've come down here and they've made a big difference, right? We can all feel it to a certain extent. No more fins riding past us doing donuts everywhere. But the thing of it is they've made it about the National Guard, right? But the National Guard is not the ones that's actually doing the work. It's the federal agents, the FBI, the DEA. They come in droves, handling cases and following up behind each other and doing it. But I believe that you all as police officers and sheriffs and all that has been asking for assistance from the highway patrol and everybody else for years, but now they decide to come, right? I think Mayor Young did a pretty decent job of getting ahead of that by trying to negotiate and talk with them about how to handle it and what to do, right? Can't say it all worked out perfectly, but he did what he could do.
Right.
How do you see, if you were sheriff, how would you keep up that momentum as well as manage what's going on in the crisis of it all as well?
Like I was telling people before, when the National Guards come in and your federal agents and everybody, that takes away from your law enforcement because you got to take a seat back. And there shouldn't be a reason for that being, because if you're the sheriff, you're over all of this.
Yes, because I haven't heard him in none of it speak. He haven't. I seen the lawsuit by the county mayor or whatever the case, but you haven't heard him come out and have any opinions too much about any of it.
Yeah, I can't speak for him
Yeah.
or why he has or has not. It just does not look good in law enforcement for somebody else, because this is what it says to me. You can't get the job done, so I'm gonna send somebody else in and do the job for you, right? Because that's what they're doing. But we could do this anyway. All of this is collaboration.
Yeah.
You got all these entities here. You got Germantown, you got Millington, you got Carterville, you got MPD. Why can't we do this without that? You can, but you got to communicate. Everybody got to know their lane. Say, hey, look, I'm the sheriff. I need some help. The city's out of control. The county's out of control. Y'all need to come in and we need to collaborate. Right? That's all they're doing now. We need more presence. That's all you see. More present. That's it. I mean, what are the National Guards doing? You see them walking around. Presence. And I tell people, present makes a difference. And they're like, oh, you don't need more people. If you have enough of them, those criminals are going to go the other way. Because they're going, oh man, we got all these police out here. They're not going to do anything. You know? And that's all what's going on now. And then you got to be in law enforcement. You got to do your job. You got to get out here and you got to fight this crime. You can't sit out here and let people do donuts in your face and all that. You know, you got to do your job. Because that's reckless endangerment. And you got to set that tone and that standard. And if you do that, people heed to that and they're like, oh, okay, they ain't playing. Like you said earlier, oh, don't go in the county, they ain't playing, right? They know. And think about it. The city, they have to go through Bartlett, right? You got Bartlett, Germantown, Carterville. What happened? They don't take that over there now, do they?
No.
Because they know how to act. Because they know they got a standard set and they ain't letting you, you know, break that standard. So why can't you do it in the inner city? And you got to set that tone.
That's, to me, I think that's one of the biggest issues. They're not setting the standard across the board. And you're right with it. I totally agree. It was something that you made me think of something. I swear you.
But it's all about working together, collaboration. That's all you have to do. And you got to continue that once the National Guard leaves. Because they're going to be going, when, I don't know. But when they leave, you got to have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you're going to be in the same situation. But I have a plan. I sure do.
You got a plan? What's your plan?
I can't tell you my plan. Somebody may steal my stuff. But I got a plan to fight that crime. I can tell you that.
You do?
Yes, yes.
Okay, I believe. I really do. So as the first sheriff, female sheriff.
Yeah.
How do you see that and how does that feel to you? What does that do for you and what do you think that does for the city?
I think it does a lot for the city, the county, and myself, because it shows, hey, we've evolved to say, okay, we can let a woman do this job. You know,
because
instead of saying this is a
man's job.
Yeah, this is a male environment. A woman can't do this. No, this woman has been doing this for 30 years.
30 years.
30 years. And I've been all over Shelby County in the sheriff's office, working in GIB, the detective division, accreditation, the policies, working in the Metro Gang Unit, like I said, uniform patrol. everywhere. The court system, cargo task force, I've done it pretty much. And you gotta know this organization, how it's run inside and out, and working in the jail to know what needs to be done. And being the first woman, that's amazing. And knowing that I can do it,
Yeah.
competent, and ready, and taking that charge, that's a lot. You gotta be strong, you gotta be brave. And that's me. And my mother instilled that in me a long time ago.
Yeah,
I can do it.
I see. So, on another note, as far as the officers and the morale of the police department and the Shelby County Sheriff's Department, what is it at? Where is it at right now, you think, and how would you help benefit your fellow officers?
Right now, the morale is very low on our side. I hear from the officers all the time, and they won't change, and they say they're ready for it. They say they're ready for a woman, and they understand because I ran before. And they
Yeah,
said,
you
hey,
ran a couple of times.
just one, no couple.
I thought okay.
Just one. This is number 2 round,
All right.
and we're gonna get it right this time.
Okay.
And they understand, and they see that what I was trying to tell them before has come to pass, and they're like, okay, look, we're ready to follow. And that's what you have to do. If you can get officers to follow you and trust, it's about that trust. And that's what they say. They said, we don't believe and trust the people that are in office now. They said, but we trust you and we believe and we see what you're doing. And we're ready for that change. And I keep telling them, you're going to have effective change with me, you know, because I've been there. I've been at the bottom, you know.
You started at the bottom and worked
Yes,
your way up.
and know what it takes to move up. And I know you have to empower your officers. You have to empower your community. They have to believe in you. In the community, you have to be out there with them, standing with them, alongside them. And then they say, okay, look, you out here with us. Oh, we feeling you. Because what, you know what? They never had a sheriff do that. Be out here with the people. But you got Keisha out here with you multiple times. And I've been doing it years. When they were fighting the pipeline, Keisha was out there.
Pipeline? You was out there with...
Yeah, with Justin Pearson, Representative Justin Pearson. I was out there.
Okay.
Yeah, years.
Okay.
When they were with the Poor People's Campaign, out here marching with, Keisha was out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm always where the people are because you got to show the people, hey, I'm for you. Trust and believe in me.
Yeah.
We're going to get the job done.
And
if I can't do it,
as well.
I'm going to tell you, I can't do it, but let's try something else. What can we come to a common ground? And this is my community. I was born and raised here in Memphis and Shelby County. This is my home. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to let nobody run me out. My mother told me that, you're going to stay right here.
So you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Okay. That's pretty good. There's so many other things.
I know. We can go on and on.
We're gonna tap on this and then I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
So, here recently we had the whole thing they got with the this past weekend with immigration and the ICE and all this type of stuff that actually is blowing out of control to a certain extent. What is your take on just the police and protester interaction? Because you said you've been out there with the protesters in certain ways, different campaigns, as well as seeing how the police and things can get escalated. And then you think about the Tyree Nichols situation, and that not quite being resolved as of yet. So as the sheriff, right? What do you see needs to change in that dynamic, or how would you manage it? And how would you manage a dynamic like that? We're just having a big issue with it as far as police and people interaction and protesters interaction and maybe like I said, the police, the squads and all that type of stuff that was going on and targeting people.
You have to give people that right. That's the right to protest. As long as they do it peacefully, there's nothing you can do. Let them protest, because people protest when they feel they've been unjust, right? When they feel their voices aren't heard. So it's a cry out. You need to listen to what the people are telling you and what they're saying. That's all. And they want you to do something about it. They're asking. at this point. You know, this is what we want. This is what we need. If you want us to stay, you know, I'm trying to choose the right word. If you don't want us to protest, you know, then treat us like we're humans. You know, that's it. Don't abuse us and don't send us away. You know, we have rights. Whether they're locked up or they're outside, they still have rights. And that's all they want. They just want just. And if you don't treat people, you know, with just, and you don't treat them with equality, then this is what you have. You have civil unrest, you know, at that point. But we haven't gotten there yet. But they just want to be treated fairly, and they want to be heard. That's all.
True. True. Well, you know, I appreciate the time sitting down with you, Miss Keisha. You've really informed me of a lot of things. I wish you well on your campaign.
Thank you.
And it was nice talking to you.
Thank
I learned a lot by speaking with you today, and I hope my listeners learn well.
I hope so too. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Anytime you want to talk, we can.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, today I want to thank you, Miss Keisha Scott, Sheriff, possibly.
Yes.
Keisha Scott, for joining us on People in Politics. Just keep in mind the powers in the people and politics we address. Thank you. Y'all have a great day.